Jesus, I surrender all to Him. I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him, in His presence daily live.
The 6th of December 1904, Volume 6. The beginning of eternal beatitude is to lose every taste of one's own. As I continued struggling, blessed Jesus came for just a little, and I saw myself as naked, stripped of everything. Perhaps a soul more miserable than I am cannot be found, so extreme is my misery. What a dismal change! If the Lord does not make a new miracle of His omnipotence to make me rise again from this state, I will certainly die of misery. Then blessed Jesus told me, "My daughter, courage. The beginning of eternal beatitude is to lose every taste of one's own. In fact, as the soul keeps losing her own tastes, the divine tastes take possession of her, and the soul, having undone and lost herself, no longer recognizes herself. She finds nothing else of her own, not even spiritual things. Seeing that the soul has nothing else of her own, God fills her with all of Himself and replenishes her with all the divine happinesses. Only then can the soul truly be called blessed, because as long as she had something of her own, she could not be exempt from bitternesses and fears, nor could God communicate His happiness to her. No soul that enters the port of eternal beatitude can be exempted from this point. Painful, yes, but necessary, nor can she do without it. Generally they do it at the point of death, and purgatory does the last job. This is why if creatures are asked what God's taste is, what divine beatitude means, these are things unknown to them, and they are unable to articulate a word. But with the souls who are my beloved, since they have given themselves completely to me, I do not want their beatitude to have beginning up there in heaven, but to have beginning down here on earth. I want to fill them not only with happiness, with the glory of heaven, but I want to fill them with the goods, with the sufferings, with the virtues that my humanity had upon earth. Therefore I strip them not only of material tastes, which the soul considers as dung, but also of spiritual tastes, in order to fill them completely with my goods and give them the beginning of true beatitude." End of the reading. The 6th of December, 1906, Volume 7. Jesus hides to see what the soul does. Continuing in my state of almost total privation, at the most He comes like a flash or a shadow, I was saying in my interior, "Life of my life, how is it that you are not coming? Oh, how cruel you have become with me. How hard your heart has become as you reach the point of not listening to me. Where are your promises? Where your love, since you leave me abandoned in the abyss of my miseries? Yet you promised me that you would never leave me. You told me that you loved me. And now? And now? You yourself told me that it is from one's constancy that it can be known whether one really loves you, and if there is no constancy, one cannot rely on this love. So how is it that you want it from me, who does not form your life, and then you, who are my life, deny it to me? But who can say all of my nonsense? I would be too long. In the meantime, He moved in my interior, raising His arm in the act of sustaining me. He told me, "I am within you, and I hide more in you to see what you do. I have failed in nothing, neither in promises, nor in love, nor in constancy. If you, imperfect, do it, I do it in the fullness of perfection toward you. Then he disappeared. End of the reading. The 6th of December 1917, Volume 12. The reason why Jesus can never like acts done outside of his will. After having received Jesus in the sacrament, I was telling my Jesus, I kiss you with the kiss of your will. You are not content if I give you only my kiss, but you want the kiss of all creatures. So I give you the kiss in your will, because in it I find all creatures, and on the wings of your will I take all their mouths, and I give you the kiss of all. And as I kiss you with the kiss of your love, so that I may kiss you not with my love, but with your own love, and you may feel the contentment, the sweetness, and the gentleness of your own love on the lips of all creatures, in such a way that as you are attracted by your own love, I may force you to kiss all creatures. But then who can tell all the nonsense I was saying to my lovable Jesus? Then my sweet Jesus told me, my daughter, how sweet it is for me to see, to feel the soul in my will. Without realizing it, she finds herself at the heights of my acts, of my prayers, of the way I acted when I was on this earth. She places herself almost at my level. In my most tiny acts, I enclosed all creatures, past, present and future, in order to offer to the Father complete acts in the name of all creatures. Not even one breath of the creatures escaped me, which I did not enclose in me. Otherwise the Father might have found some exceptions in recognizing the creatures and all their acts, because they would not have been done by me and have come out from me. He might have said to me, you had not done everything and for everyone. Your work is not complete. I cannot recognize all of them, because you have not embodied them all within you, and I want to recognize only what you did. Therefore, in the immensity of my will, of my love and power, I did everything and for everyone. So how could other things outside of my will ever please me, as beautiful as they might be? They are always low, human and finite acts. Instead, the acts in my will are noble, divine, interminable and infinite, as my volition is. They are similar to mine, and I give them the same value, love, power of my own acts. I multiply them in everyone. I extend them to all generations and to all times. What do I care if they are small? They are still my acts that are being repeated, and that's enough. And then the soul places herself in her true nothingness, not in humility in which she always feels something of herself. And as a nothing she enters into the all and operates with me, in me and like me, completely stripped of herself, not caring about merit or self-interest, but all intent only on making me happy, giving me absolute lordship over her acts without even wanting to know what I do with them. Only one thought occupies her, to live in my will, praying to me that I may give her the honour. This is why I love her so much, and all my predilections and my love are for this soul who lives in my will. And if I love the others, it is by virtue of the love which I have for this soul, and which descends from her, just as the Father loves the creatures, by virtue of the love he has for me. And I, how true it is what you say, that in your will one wants nothing and wants to know nothing. If one wants to do something, it is because you have done it. One feels the ardent desire to repeat your things. Everything disappears. One no longer wants to do anything. And Jesus, and I make her do everything, and I give everything to her. End of the reading. The 6th of December 1919, Volume 12. In the divine will, the soul gives God the love that lost souls do not give him. In creating man, God left him free and gave him the power to do the good he wanted. I feel no strength to write of my painful fortunes. I will just say a few words which my sweet Jesus told me, which I wasn't even thinking of putting on paper, but Jesus, reproaching me for this, made me make up my mind to write them down. Now, I remember that one night I was doing the adoration of my crucified Jesus, telling him, "My love, in your will I find all generations, and in the name of the whole human family, I adore you, I kiss you, I repair you for all. I give your wounds and your blood to all, so that all may find their salvation. And if the lost souls can no longer benefit from your most holy blood, nor love you, I take it in their place, in order to do what they should have done. I do not want your love to remain defrauded on anything on the part of creatures. I want to compensate, repair you, love you for all, from the first to the last man." While I was saying this and other things, my sweet Jesus stretched his arms around my neck and, squeezing all of me, told me, "My daughter, echo of my life, while you were praying, my mercy was softening, and my justice was losing sharpness, and not only in the present time, but also in the future, because your prayer will remain in act in my will. By virtue of it, my softened mercy will flow more abundantly, and my justice will be less vigorous. Not only this, but I will feel the note of the love of the lost souls, and my heart will feel for you a love of special tenderness, finding in you the love which these souls owed me, and I will pour into you the graces which I had prepared for them." Another time he told me, "My daughter, I love the creature so much that if in creating the heavens, the stars, the sun, and all nature, I left no freedom to them, so that the heavens cannot add one star or remove one, nor can the sun dissolve or add one more drop of light, in creating man, I left him free. Even more, I wanted him together with me, creating the stars, the sun, in order to embellish the heaven of his soul. As he would do good and exercise himself in the virtues, I would give him the power to form his own stars and the brightest suns. The more good he would do, the more stars he would form. The greater the intensity of his love and sacrifice, the more splendor and light he would add to his suns. And I, spreading myself in the heaven of his soul, would tell him, 'My son, the more beautiful you want to become, the more you please me. Even more, I love your beauty so much that I push you, I instruct you, and as soon as you make up your mind, I run, and together with you, I renew the creative power, giving you the power to do all the good that you want. I love you so much that I did not make you slave, but free. But alas, how much abuse of this power that I have given you. You have the courage to convert it into your ruin and into offence to your Creator." End of the reading. The 6th of December 1923, Volume 16. How to go around and fly in the eternal volition. The mission of the Most Holy Virgin, the mission of Jesus, and the mission of Louisa for the coming of the kingdom of the divine will upon earth. Difference between the sanctity of the divine will and that of virtues. I was praying, and my sweet Jesus made himself seen in my interior, staring at me, and I, drawn by his gaze, looked at him, down into his interior, which seemed to be like a crystal, in which one could see all that my beloved Jesus was doing, and uniting myself with him, I tried to do what he was doing. At other times it seemed to me that Jesus would take my soul in his hands and would throw it in flight into the immensity of his will, telling me, "The newborn of my will, you were born in my will, in it do I want you to live. Fly, fly in the eternal volition. Fulfill your office. See what needs to be done between the divinity and the creatures. Go around all generations, but always in my will. Otherwise you will not find them all. And loving, working, repairing, adoring for all, you will go before the Supreme Majesty to give it all the love and the homages of all and of each one as the newborn daughter of our will. I would start my flight and Jesus would follow my flight with his gaze. But who can say what I did? In his will I could find all the love which his will was to give to the creatures. And because they would not take it, it was suspended, waiting to be taken. And so I would make it my own, and investing all created intelligences, I would form for each thought an act of love, of adoration, and of all that every intelligence was supposed to give God, and embracing everything within me, as though placing everyone on my lap, I would reach the vault of the heavens to place them on the lap of the Celestial Father, saying to him, Holy Father, I come to your throne to bring you on my lap all your children, your dear images created by you, in order to place them on your divine lap, so that you may bind and retie once again that will which they had broken from you. It is the little daughter of your will that asks this of you. I am little, it is true, but I take on the commitment to satisfy you for all. I will not depart from your throne if you do not bind the human will with the divine, so that bringing it to the earth, the kingdom of your will may come upon earth. Nothing is denied to little ones, because what they ask is nothing other than the echo of your own will and of what you yourself want. Then I would go to Jesus, who was waiting for me in my little room, and he would receive me in his arms, covering me with kisses and caresses, telling me, My little one, in order for the will of heaven to descend upon earth, it is necessary that all human acts be sealed and glazed with acts of divine will, so that in seeing that all the acts of the creatures are covered with its will, drawn by the powerful magnet of its own volition, the supreme will may descend upon earth and reign in it. You then have been given this task as firstborn of our will. Know that in order to draw the Word and make him descend from heaven, my mama took on this commitment to go around all generations, and making all the acts of human will her own, she placed the divine will in them. Since she possessed so much of this capital of the supreme volition as to surpass all that all creatures together would possess. For every round she made in it, this capital multiplied. And so I, Eternal Word, in seeing that one of our most faithful creatures had covered with so much grace and love all the human acts with the divine will, taking to heart all that was needed in order to do this, and in seeing that our will was present in the world, drawn, descended from heaven. The second commitment befitted me in order to form redemption. How much I had to go around, across all human acts, as though taking them all in my hand, and covering them, sealing them, glazing them with my divine will, in order to attract my celestial Father, making him look at all the human acts covered with that divine will, which man had rejected, into the celestial regions, so that my divine Father would open the gates of heaven, which had been closed by the human will. There is no good which does not descend by means of my will. The third is yours. It befits you, firstborn daughter of our will, to add the third seal of our will upon all human acts to the first and the second, in order to obtain the coming of the kingdom of the divine will upon earth. Therefore go around, my daughter, over all the human acts of creatures, penetrate into the hearts, bring to each heartbeat the heartbeat of my will, to each thought the kiss, the knowledge of my will. Impress the omnipotent fiat in every word, invade everything, overwhelm everyone with it, that my kingdom may come upon earth. Your Jesus will not leave you alone in these rounds. I will assist you and guide you in everything. And while he was saying this, I continued my flight, going around everything and everyone. But who can say what I did? Jesus alone can say it, he who made me do it. So I spent a night always with Jesus, and while going around I'd bring him now all thoughts, now all words, now works, now steps, heartbeats, all invested by his will. And Jesus received everything with love and made feast. Then he said to me, do you see what great difference exists between the sanctity in my will and that of other virtues? The first one is to receive in every instant the currents of grace, of light, of love, and in each one of her acts the creature remains in order with her Creator. Therefore it is the sanctity which is closest to her Creator. The second, that of the other virtues, exists in time and circumstances, whenever the occasion occurs to exercise now patience, now obedience, now charity, and the like. And if occasions do not come about, the virtues remain interrupted and without growth, and one cannot receive the good which a virtue in act contains. On the other hand, in the sanctity of my will, there are no stops or interruptions. My will is always fixed on darting through the creature. She can receive it in every instant, whether she breathes, thinks, speaks, palpitates, takes food or sleeps. Everything enters my volition, and in every instant she can be filled with my will, along with all the good it contains. End of the read. End of part 1 for today.